man. I got my Jamaica bobsled team shirt on tonight for the Olympics, man. Welcome to the OHIO podcast. Chris, you have to enjoy life a little bit more, Chris. You have to.
I am enjoying life so much right now.
You are so depressed, Grumpy Cat. There's no reason to be sad. Turn your frown
depressed.
upside down, buddy.
I'm not depressed.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Eric. Can you just not waste our time and just get to it, man? Come on, man. I
Shut
don't
up,
have time
Corey.
for this. I don't have time for this, man. Get to it already. All right?
Get to Ryan Day being the king. I want to talk about it now. When I laugh, I sound like a 60-year-old woman who's been smoking since her 20s right now. It's quite
It
entertaining.
sounds like Marge Schott's illegitimate love child.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell him Marge sent you.
Large Marge. Hi, Buck Vader.
Hey.
He just said, hey.
A man of few words.
Tyler. Oh, my gosh. Tyler's hilarious. Congratulations, Mean Green says, to the USA Women's Olympic team. Gold medal. They were trailing 1-0. Vader said, yes. They were trailing 1-0 with 2 minutes to go in the game. In the third period, there was a timeout. They pull their goalie, so we have a one-man advantage, one lady advantage, one woman advantage. And we score the game-tying goal off a redirect, which was fantastic. And then in overtime, in the Olympics, they play 3-on-3 hockey.
Wow.
Yeah, and we scored the game-winning goal to beat Team Canada and make our friendly neighbors to the north cry. We're really good at making people to the north cry. That's what we do.
Oh, Canada.
I actually think that we should be 49 states. I'm not lying. I think Michigan should just be given over to the Canadians.
I don't think they take them, though.
Why not?
They're
just like them.
We don't want them.
Well, here's the thing. Canadians are very strict on allowing people who have committed felonies to enter their country. That eliminates a good chunk of the Michigan population.
Hey, congratulations to Deborah and Paul. Just became a member.
Yeah. They're members over on Patreon. So we appreciate Deb and Paul and all that they do for us. They're big supporters of the podcast, and I got a nice little email from them. They really enjoyed yesterday's show. I really enjoyed yesterday's show. And can we say happy birthday to Paul? Yes, we can. Happy birthday. Chris, would you like to do us the honors and give us your Marilyn Monroe happy birthday song?
Happy birthday to you.
Keep your shirt on.
Yeah. Don't quit your day job, buddy. All right, I've got a let's get right into it. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. Josh Pate, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Now, before I play this audio, Chris, you said you don't like Josh Pate.
I don't.
Why?
I think he's a total idiot.
I
don't agree with 90% of his takes.
Because he wears white T-shirts every time he's on a program?
He doesn't make sense with half of what he says.
Well, he placates.
Yes. He's a giant wussy boy that gratifies his hungry masses.
He's a flip-flopper.
He says whatever he thinks is going to get him ratings instead of actually saying the truth.
It works. Well,
just because people are stupid doesn't mean that it's right.
This will be very interesting because I can't wait to get your take. This is a minute and a half audio clip of Josh Pate basically saying Ohio State's the best team in college football, best program in college football. I want to break it down. I actually think he's right, but I'm interested to find out how Chris is going to tear this apart. Here we go.
According to,
I think Ohio State's the top program in the country. Ohio State is 37-6 over the past 3 years. They've got a national championship mixed in here. They are a top 5 recruiting program in the country. They're a very, very high value portal program. Translation, they don't need to flood themselves with a bunch of transfers because they recruit and develop very well. But when they do need to, they can be very selective and they can be very effective in the transfer portal. And they're just excellent at staffing. I don't know that many programs at all are doing it better. Just think about what's happened within this past 3 years at Ohio State. You had 2 coordinator turnover situations. Just this past year it happened. And then you lose Chip Kelly, who was a foundational piece of that run, and you elevate from within. But then also you go and you get Matt Patricia because Jim Knowles moves on. And if anything, they improved defensively, which is just really hard to do. So that is supreme organizational structure there. Ohio State is here as long as Ryan Day's there. And then even above and beyond Ryan Day, not to overlook him, one of the best doing it right now, but even to move beyond him, Ohio State as a program has been resilient over the past several head coaches they've had. So now, I think Ohio State's the top program in the country.
He ain't wrong.
I'm not disagreeing with what he says. His logic even actually has some merit, Eric. I mean, especially you look at college football, specifically since the retirement of Nick Saban. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ohio State is the best program in college football overall. And ignore the Dusty Trophy cases from the SEC. And let's not talk about a blue blood nostalgia tour here. The fact is, he's talking about modern dominance, infrastructure, relevance, and sustainability. And Ohio State has that. And if you look specifically over the last, say, quarter century, Ohio State is as good as any team in the country not coached by Nick Saban. So, you talk about the kings of college football. Kings don't win it just once. Ohio State has not just won it just once during that time. Kings don't just spike for a season. Friends over in Bloomington. Kings build empires. And in a modern era of playoff football, NIL, the transfer portal, who's been more consistently positioned at the top, if you really think about it, than Ohio State? National title. They've played for another. Been in the playoff mix every year, basically. They recruit at an elite level every single cycle. They develop well, although a lot of times we don't get to see the fruit of that development. But they develop well. They send first rounders to the NFL like they're rolling off a assembly line in a car plant. And what people hate hearing is, even in down years, an Ohio State down year has double-digit wins. 11-2 is a down year for Ohio State. 10-3 is a down year for Ohio State. So I don't think you can really argue with the logic of what he's got going on here. I think this is one of the very rare occasions where he is 100% on point with his assessment.
Sean.
I have to agree with what Chris said. I mean, if you look, we've had 2 losing seasons in over 50 years. I mean, honestly, who does this better? I mean, these idiots up north had a podcast last night, and they said Ohio State is falling apart, which made me laugh. I mean, they wish they could be on our level. I mean, if you look, we don't rebuild, we reload. And that's because of how great we recruit. Plus, we develop. I mean, people say we can't, we buy players. Well, we have put the most three stars in the NFL. So that says how much we develop here. So I mean, yeah, we get a lot of 5 stars, but you know what? We also take the 3 stars and make them NFL product, an NFL caliber type player. I mean, guys like Santonio Holmes and Troy Smith weren't, 5 stars when they came to Ohio State. I mean, it's amazing. I don't think anybody can be on our level, man. I mean, the only thing that Alabama did that we didn't do is they won more national titles. They were more consistent with winning national titles over us. But I think we've been the better program longevity wise. I mean, we haven't had dips like they've had or anybody else has had. I mean, we have one losing season, then we turn around the next year. So, I mean, honestly, last 50 years, I mean, we've had one really bad season with Cooper, and then we had that other season where we wouldn't have had a losing season if it wasn't for Tattoo Gate. So show me another program that's on our level, guys. I'd love to see it.
Vader, your thoughts?
First, thanks for having me on, Eric. I'm really excited to be here. You can find me on X, just type in Buck Vader. The main place you can find me is on the Ohio Podcast Patreon page, writing blogs and dropping nuggets you won't find anywhere else. I also want to give a shout out to my friend and the best RT, Tanya. She's watching tonight. I'm not a big fan of Pate, but he right about our Buckeyes being the kings of college football. I know how last season ended and this transfer portal were frustrating, but take it from a guy who has studied team building to almost an obsession for over 30 years. There is no program built more for long-term success than Ohio State. We can recruit the traditional way, and in the new portal model, very few teams have that ability. I know everyone is obsessed with the Indiana blueprint right now, but that is because it worked. But if they have guys who miss or have injuries, the blueprint will crumble. I have an Indiana source who told me when Curry hit Mendoza, Coach Sig thought there goes the season. We don't have to worry about that. We will always have backups who will at least give us a fighting shot. We have developed a system where guys know where they stand, which promotes competition and locker room harmony. We have created a culture that has the fewest discipline problems since Woody. Finally, something I believe not enough people are talking about: no program in college football has better across-the-board development than Ohio State. Ask any NFL scout. The Buckeyes are positioned to be the most dominant team for the next 10 years.
He is, absolutely. So Buck Vader speaks through a computer, and he lives in a wheelchair, my man. So walk softly, my friend.
If you got a problem with Vader, you got a problem with me, and you got a problem with Chris and Eric. So
And by the way, he's the best insider in Ohio State. So
no doubt.
bow down before Lord Buck Vader. Shout out Tanya, his nurse taking care of him, watching tonight. That being said, I'm going to disagree with all three of you.
It's
Not
okay,
just
Eric, I've told you before, you can be wrong.
I know you have. All right. There is only one other program that I think has a legitimate argument to be called the king of college football. It's not USC. It is not Michigan. It is definitely not Penn State. It is not Georgia. It is not Texas. It is Alabama. They're the only one I think has a legitimate argument that can be made that they are the king of college football. So, I have pulled up some statistics, some numbers. All right. So, Ohio State versus Alabama. All-time record, winning percentage. Who is it? Who's in first?
Ohio State.
Are you talking head-to-head or?
No.
Okay.
All
Ohio State has
time.
a better winning percentage.
Ohio State has a better winning percentage by 0.004%. Ohio State has 5 more wins than Alabama, and they have 8 less losses. It's very close. Okay? National titles. Ohio State has 9. Alabama has 18.
How many of those are actually recognized?
18 are recognized.
18 are recognized. I thought only 16 were recognized. I apologize, but still.
Sorry.
I see your point.
Wow.
No, you're correct. 18 claimed, 16 recognized. All right, 16. 16 to 9. 16 is first. It's more than Notre Dame. By the way, I should have mentioned Notre Dame in that too.
Actually, I believe is it Yale or Princeton has a higher one.
FBS though. We're not looking at FCS. It's a mute art. You can't even argue that.
You know what, Eric? Though there is one point I want to make. Ohio State is the only team to win a national championship in the poll era, the BCS era, the 4-team playoff, and the 12-team playoff.
Correct. But if you're just looking at total national titles, Alabama's first by 7. Conference championships, Ohio State's got them beat. We have 39 conference championships. They have 34. Bowl games, Alabama has played in 19 more bowl games than we have. Now, some of that is the Big Ten's doing because they would only go to one bowl game for the longest time, but still. They've played in 80 bowl games, which is more than any other school. We've played in 61. Let's see. Consensus All-Americans. Ohio State 95, Alabama 86. To be a consensus All-American means you need to be selected by the 3 major journalistic institutions, right? AP, what are the other ones? Coaches
AP,
and
coaches.
Something.
It's AP coaches and does that include UPI as well?
Is it the Writers Association of?
That was the old UPI, I believe.
Something. Anyways, you have to have
Press.
like 3 major nominations to be a consensus All-American. Ohio State 7 Heisman Trophy winners. Alabama 4. Ohio State 503 draft picks in the NFL. Alabama 419.
Ooh.
First round draft picks. Ohio State 95. That's the first, by the way. No one's got more first round draft picks. If we get 5 first round draft picks, guys, this draft, Ohio State will hit 100. Be the first school ever.
I think we get 4, honestly. I think
we're guaranteed to get 4. And I think there's a chance we might get 5. Alabama 84. So we've beaten them by 11. Weeks spent in the AP poll. Ohio State 1,017, Alabama 908.
I think, don't we hold the record for longest?
We are number 1, but Alabama is number 1 in weeks at number 1. 141 weeks at number 1 in the AP poll. Ohio State second, 120. So I give you all of these statistics to say Alabama is legitimately the only other school that can claim king of college football other than Ohio State. True or false?
They're the only ones with an argument.
Yeah.
But I believe it's a very invalid argument because I would say that let's look at this from this standpoint. They had 2 tremendous coaches who garnered the biggest bulk of those national titles. You take away the performance of either one of those coaches, they are an also-ran. If you take Ryan Day's championship away, we've still got 8. You take Urban's away, you still got 8. You take Tress's away, you still got 8. You know, Woody had, the most obviously. But you go through there, Ohio State, and this is the thing that I think bothers people, Eric. Why people are uncomfortable calling Ohio State the king of college football. Because it means acknowledging that it's not temporary, first of all. Again, every year your recruiting is elite. Top 5 classes is the expectation. The NFL development, you talked about it. It's elite. It's not just we're not just wide receiver. How many defensive backs have we got out there? How many first round picks? Who leads the first round picks? We do. We've got the financial and infrastructure weaponized. Our floor is double digit wins. We don't have the down seasons like Sean talked about. And then we've done this with different coaches in different eras, with different coordinators, with a constant revolving door. Ryan Day doing it in the toughest era ever to coach in college football, while Nick Saban tucked his tail between his legs and ran. I'm telling you right now, I understand where you're trying to come up with an argument for it, and I respect your argument for it, but it's just flat out wrong because they don't have an argument. The only thing they have dominated Ohio State in is national titles. And that's big. Don't get me wrong. That is big. And I respect their national titles, even though I think a good portion of those came via the brown bag discount. Or, I'm sorry, the brown bag bonus, whatever you want to call it. But the fact is, if you look top to bottom at every measurable, Ohio State is better, with the exception of one. And they don't have the down periods that Alabama has experienced. Alabama is, and I'll tell you right now, I don't think Alabama's done crashing. And I feel bad for Kalen DeBoer. Because, Eric, and I'm going to quote what you say here, you never want to be the guy to replace a legend. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy who replaced the legend.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a no-win situation. It doesn't matter what he does. He's already behind the 8 ball. People wanted him gone last year. It's different. It's different at Ohio State. And granted, we've had our issues. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say we're the best fan base in the country because, by God, we were ready to run Ryan Day out of town, and I was right there sitting at the driver's seat of the bus. But the fact is, it is not a reflection on one coach at Ohio State like it is at Alabama.
Chris, for someone who is so disappointed when you don't win a national championship and that's like your standard for a successful season, you're sure arguing the other way really heavy, buddy.
No, I'm saying I give a lot of respect and a lot of credence. But what I'm saying is one metric versus 40 metrics. If this was one metric versus 5 metrics where everything was just a 1/10 of a percentage point apart, I would be right there with you, Eric. But it's not.
Put a pin in that. We're going to come back to it. Sean.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, the one category that they do lead in is probably the most important category. And that's national champions, man. I mean, that's the one category where, I mean, that's the best prize of them all, you know? I mean, if you look, though, I mean, we never had a period where, like they did, where they just disappeared. I mean, they had that 1 year with Gene Stallings, but after that, until Nick Saban come to town, I mean, some of these younger Alabama fans think they've always been good. That's not the case. I mean, early 90s, late 80s, I mean, they weren't. I mean, who was Alabama? I mean, honestly, until Nick Saban came there to resurrect that program, I mean, they weren't very good. I mean, Ohio State, yes. I mean, Earl Bruce didn't win a national championship, but he played for one. And Cooper was always in the mix for him, even though, you know, he had his issues with Michigan. They lost some of those games, but he had us there contending. I mean, we've always contended under, you know, every coach since I've been alive. I mean, since Woody forward, I mean, you can say that since World War II or whatever, you know, since the modern AP polls, Ohio State has been the best program, hands down. I mean, I give Alabama credit because, I mean, when it comes to winning national championships, man, I mean, they did it better than we did. I mean, they were able to, you know, get over that hump. I mean, when there was years we couldn't do it. So
Vader, Sorry, Sean. Vader, you got any thoughts to add to that, buddy?
Yes.
Go for it. Give him a minute. Type it out, everybody.
Alabama also has had a few 8-loss season. Also take away Saban and the Bear. Also their academic record is a joke. Ohio State has been the most consistent team in the history of college football. I also believe they have more violations.
Vader pointing all of that out too. That's hilarious, dude. Do you think? I think what Josh Pate is getting at. Where's Rare Form Eric tonight? Still taking drugs. That's where he's at.
I'm on drugs.
I'm on drugs. I think Josh Pate is saying, Chris, Alabama's no longer the king currently.
Well, I agree, because if you look, he specifically framed this in a 3-year period.
Yes, he did.
That's what you have to look at, is he has framed this as a 3-year period.
Right.
And what I think he's talking to on the bigger level is not only is Ohio State the king over that 3-year period, I think that he is actually taking a let's call it a thinly veiled shot at the lack of SEC dominance over the last 3 years. I think that is where this is going. I think he's not only, I don't know that Pate is actually patting Ohio State on the back as much as he is taking a shot at the once mighty SEC.
Yes, I think that's a possibility, but I also think he's saying, because if you frame this on if Ohio State's king, who was king before, based on a 3-year period, I think you have to look at the fact that during the Saban era in Alabama, there's your king.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't think there's anybody that can argue that. If
No.
you're going to look at an era, what we did was we opened it up to the entire history of college football, and we said, okay, I think Ohio State has a legitimate argument to say they are the better program overall consistently, given all of these criteria that you mentioned, Chris.
Yes.
But when you stop and you analyze it in post-Saban era, Josh Pate is saying Ryan Day and Ohio State have the best shot to be the kings of college football moving forward because of, and he goes on to talk about it, the Ryan Day's ability to get the coaches he needs despite turnover, the consistency, the fact that we've been able to do it year in and year out, even when we lose coaches and head coaches. Ohio State is still that consistent program, and he brings that up. But I think when you stop and you analyze that, I think Josh Pate's saying Ohio State is in the best spot right now out of anybody to be the king of college football moving forward post-Saban era. That's what I think he's saying.
I could see where that is relevant, where what you're saying could be absolutely correct. Yeah, I mean, and again, I think he's 100% right. I don't think that if you look at these teams, I mean, guys, I don't think the Indiana model is sustainable. I just don't. I don't think marching 25-year-old guys out on the field year in and year out is sustainable. I don't think doing it with guys that are all together for 1 year is sustainable. You've got to have that core that came up through your school through recruiting. I don't think that, obviously Michigan proved that their cheating model is not sustainable. The Alabama model, and Will Buck, I think, pointed this out earlier. What Nick Saban did at Alabama is probably never going to be seen again. In today's era where you can't stack talent, stack
Oh.
5 stars on the bench 4 deep, which is what they did, and that goes back to their brown bag special recruiting, but they did it. I truly believe that he's right. You're never going to see what Nick Saban did again. I don't care how good of a coach Ryan Day is, or Kirby Smart, or Big Mouth Signetti. I don't care how good of a coach any of them are. You're not going to see that replicated. So, yes, I agree. I think Ohio State has the ability to be in that position, the closest thing to what you would see to that Alabama dynasty. Ohio State is in the best position to make that run versus any other team in the country.
Don, to answer your question, Paul Bear Bryant won 6 to Woody Hayes' 5. And Nick Saban also won 6 at Alabama. 12 of their 16 come from Paul Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. And I think Gene Stallings won 1. So that, and then they had guys from back like in the 30s and stuff. And who knows how many of those are actually legit.
I will not even address that last question because the guy can't count to 11. I'm not going to give him any credit to even win 1.
Troy, that's funny. Sean, last thoughts on this, man.
Eric, I mean, I think Josh Pate's right. I think consistency wise, I think we are the better team. I think, will anybody be able to do what Saban did? No, because the times are different now. These kids aren't going to wait around. I mean, before the coaches had the power and they could hold those kids there and say, well, if you want to leave, you're going to have to sit for a year. If you leave here, you transfer somewhere. Now these kids can just up and go wherever the heck they want as many times as they want. I mean, you won't have to sit out a year. So, I mean, you're not going to be able to stack the players like you want to, like they used to be able to. And now that everybody can pay players and everything's on the level, well, kind of. I mean, it's not all on the level we know about, but people aren't going to be able to do like they used to do. I mean, now the players have the power, not the coaches and the institutions. So what Saban did was amazing. I give props to him. But what we did, I mean, consistent-wise, nobody's come close to us.
Vader, do you have any last comment? While he's getting that ready, Chris.
I think he's also taking a shot at Alabama for ducking Ohio State.
If you don't know what he's talking about, Alabama is reportedly going to cancel their home and home with Ohio State. So, yeah, there's been a lot of talk that's what was going to happen. Yeah, Chris, you going to jump in there?
I'm just going to say this before giving Alabama too much credit. Alabama, you're welcome. Because without Ohio State, you wouldn't have Nick Saban, you weasels. Where do you think you learned how to coach?
He's from Ohio, or no? Was he from West Virginia?
He's from West
or Ohio?
Virginia.
West Virginia. But he coached at Ohio State, right?
Correct.
Yep, he went to school at Kent.
Yeah, there you go. All right, next topic. Let's go. So this, I love this. I'm not gonna lie. I love everything about what I'm about to play for you guys. This is a audio clip of David Pollack. And David Pollack, Chris, he's speaking our love language, buddy.
He is. I love this.
He goes off on a 57-second rant about offensive line play and run blocking in college football. You want to talk about a football guy who can't stand modern day football? Listen to this. And this speaks to what Chris and I have been talking about for years on this podcast. Check this out.
Here's an epidemic. I don't see even those big guys that are enormous on that offensive line. I don't see them moving people, Greg.
Yeah.
The offensive line play is as soft as I've seen in college football. Like, I don't say that just as a defensive guy that doesn't like offensive linemen because I was a defensive lineman. I'm just saying, like, you got so many guys that you look at their numbers and you're like 6'7", 340. Seton from Colorado, who's going to LSU. I think the dude's a freak athlete. I think he's a first-round pick. I think he's an elite pass protector. Man, I would love for you to move somebody in the run game. Like, I watch his tape and it drives me nuts. Like, get your hands on people. Have a little nasty. There's a lot less nasty than there used to be. All these kids do is play 7-on-7. So they're not worried about the run game anymore. And there's so much passing in high school now where it used to be I formation in high school at so many places. So everything has gone spread and smaller and speed and space. And so it makes sense to bring it in. But when you do that, Greg, and everything's speed and space and everything's 7-on-7, these offensive linemen ain't as tough as they used to be. They ain't as strong as they used to be. They ain't as nasty as they used to be. I want my linemen to not like people. Like, I don't want them to like people. I want them to be mean and nasty.
Amen.
Praise
I
the
love this. I love it. Let me tell you something, Eric. I have heard what David Pollock said. I heard it. I felt it. And let me tell you something right now. He's circling the target, but he still hasn't pulled the proverbial trigger. Because let me tell you, he's out here saying offensive line play has slipped, the physicality's down, cohesion is down, the run game dominance is fading, even at top programs. And he's calling out these blue blood programs. He's saying if you can't establish the run, you're throwing 35 to 40 times a game because you have to, you've already lost your identity. And Eric, we're going to get there. I know what you're waiting to say because I'm going to say it. Guys, this is a symptom and there is a cure. There is a cure. Stop worrying about these 5-star kids from California and Florida and Georgia and Texas. Stop worrying about all these fair weather offensive linemen and get yourself some tough, gritty ass upper Midwest kids who know how to push people around in the snow and throw people around and play with edge and play with attitude and play with anger. Go out and get those guys. That is your identity. That's how you get your run game back. That is what wins. And Eric, you and I have been saying this for years.
Yep.
I don't care. I will pass on a 5-star offensive lineman from California. If you get me a high 3-star offensive lineman from Ohio, then we can develop into a nasty, evil SOB on that offensive line. Nick Mangold, one of the greatest offensive linemen ever to play at Ohio State. 3-star guy. Didn't stop him. All he did was go on to have a great career at Ohio State. Great NFL career. God rest his soul. Great player. The fact is, Pollock is telling the truth, but he's fallen just short of saying it. Call it what it is. These Florida kids, these California kids, these fair weather offensive linemen are a bunch of pansies.
And look at Wilbot 21. Look what he said there. He's right. That statement is true.
Yes.
And sorry, I need to read it because our audio listeners are like, "What statement, Boggs?" Sorry to say it, but that was Michigan 2 years ago and Indiana this year. 100%.
Yes. It was Ohio State last year.
Mm-hmm. In the playoffs, yep.
In the playoffs, when our line finally came together, when we got the right guys in position, they were nasty. They were mean. They were moving people.
What do Chris and I, if you guys watch, if you're a Patreon member and you watch our Buckeye commitment reviews, BCRs, and we talk offensive linemen, every one of them will say they're going to have to learn how to pass block because, boy, they are great at run blocking. Just about every single one of them, Chris. We do, right?
We have changed our philosophy on what we're going after.
Yes. And David Pollock is speaking more for the offensive linemen in the South. It's where he's from, by the way. And he's saying all they're doing is playing 7-on-7. They're not playing real football. they're not running the football anymore. They're down here throwing the football around the yard in high school now, and no one's really running the football. And so we don't have the mean, nasty offensive linemen we used to have in high school down here. And so it's now translated over to the college game in the South. And what he's getting at is look at the last 3 national championship teams. They all came from the North. The majority of the offensive linemen on those 3 national championship teams were all Midwest kids. They were all Northern kids. The South is not only losing the financial battle, but this transition to 7-on-7, which don't take me wrong, 7-on-7 is great for wide receivers, quarterbacks, and defensive backs. It's great. Not good for offensive linemen, defensive linemen. Not. And what he's saying is we've lost what we used to have an identity in, and it's hurting us. And Chris and I have been preaching this for years. We would always say, if it's going to come down to a 4-star offensive lineman from Florida or Texas, or a high 3-star offensive lineman from Ohio, you better take that Ohio offensive lineman. He's more ready to go. He's actually, in our opinion, based off the film we watch, he's better at run blocking. Pass blocking, maybe not. But run blocking, 100%. Sean.
You know what? Some of this isn't the kid's fault, though. It's just the way that the game has, evolved, because all these offenses now aren't running the ball like they used to. Like he said, it's not I formation anymore. And, a lot of it is the 7-on-7 offense. I mean, everybody's spread out now. People don't run the ball. I mean, even look in the NFL, a lot of times the running backs are devalued now. I mean, it's all about the passing. And a lot of these, what's the big money position on the line in the NFL? It's the left tackle.
Left tackle.
It's because you can block the blind side of the quarterback and that you're a great pass protector. I mean, it's gone up to the NFL level at the spreading out the ball and the passing. I mean, Ohio, the Midwest, we still have, blue collar football here, but one thing I got to ask you guys, though, I mean, after watching last year, are we sure that Tyler Bowen can, develop a nasty line?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'll be happy to answer in just a minute, but I want to give Buck Vader a chance too. So, Vader, if you have something ready for us on this topic, hit us with it, brother. I'll read this comment while Vader's getting his comment ready. I knew a guy in high school, says John, who drove his tractor to school. There are still schools that have tractor day here in Ohio, believe it or not. Mika says Arthur Smith will help with this.
That is what I was going to jump on in response to what Sean said. I think that's a big part of why Arthur Smith is here.
Yeah, it very well could be. Vader, are you ready now, bud? Oh, I think he's having trouble with his device. We'll come back to you, buddy. I want to make sure you get every opportunity. Yeah, Chris?
I thought I heard Vader's voice start in.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you, Vader. So what was the question here?
Do you think that, do we think that Tyler Bowen can develop? I mean, our offensive line took a step back last year, guys.
It did.
It wasn't as tough. He was not good at developing, if you look, Fry got a lot of flack because he wasn't getting the 5-star kids, and people were, pretty perturbed at it. But one thing he did do is he developed. And, it's just Bowen, this freaking Frustrates the heck out of me, guys. I've been harping on it all year long. I know I'm the guy yelling at him every time, but man, do we believe in him?
But Sean, I would argue that we had the same issues with Fry for the first year and a half he was there, 2 years even that he was there, where we doubted him because we didn't see it. It took a couple years of him actually having those kids there for us to see that development. That's because most offensive linemen don't just come in and start as freshmen or sophomores.
No, they never do.
So I think it took us a while to see exactly what Fry was accomplishing behind the scenes. And I as much as I'm as frustrated as you are, Sean, I feel like we've got to give Bowen that same benefit of the doubt. However, I do agree with Mika that a big part of why Arthur Smith is here is to improve the run game and to improve our blocking schemes and our offensive line.
To answer your question about Bowen, let me first go back to Fry. Are we sure Justin Fry had all that, gets credit for all that success? Or maybe Chip Kelly's run schemes had a lot to do with that too.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, then maybe this move with Arthur Smith that Ryan Day made has more to do with that than anything. And so I'm still ready to give Bowen the benefit of the doubt, because I saw him in practice live. I saw him doing things I've never seen offensive line coaches do before. And I thought, that's unique. And I know a lot of people are like, well, let's go get LaCharles Bentley. And trust me, I think LaCharles Bentley is a phenomenal instructor and would be a great offensive line coach.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, that's not happening. Day went with Bowen, and I'm willing to give him another season and see what it looks like with these guys in year number 2. Let's not forget, we went 12-0, and we ran the ball down Michigan's throat. That never happened when Justin Fry was here.
Yeah, but if you look, that was the only game we really did that.
It was the only game where we instituted that type of game plan, though, too.
Could we do it? Is the reason we weren't doing it is because we couldn't do it? Finally, they tried to run the ball how many times, and it was like running into a brick wall.
It wasn't all on the offensive line, though.
I get that.
I'm gonna defend the fat guys, okay? As one
I'm
fellow.
A lineman, so
well, you ain't now, brother. You're more built like a receiver.
I was built like a receiver, but I had to play offensive line. I started as a sophomore on the offensive line at 180 pounds. So, I pulled a lot.
So, remember what happened in the running back room?
Yeah.
We went from James Peoples to, who was the West Virginia kid?
Donaldson.
C.J.
Donaldson, right? Who was kind of the short yardage back for the year, kind of.
Yeah.
To Bo Jackson bursting on the scene, which I predicted, and Isaiah West becoming kind of his number 2 guy. I'm here to tell you that shouldn't have happened. No. James Peoples should not have gotten beat out by a true freshman.
No. Exactly. I was disappointed in that kid.
And so it's hard for me to sit here and say the offensive line just wasn't doing very good. They weren't getting a good push. They weren't making holes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because later in the season, I remember when James Peoples got in, he ran angry, and all of a sudden he was like a different guy. And I'm like, where was this at the beginning of the year?
By then it was too late.
Exactly. I don't necessarily think all the blame should be put on the offensive line. That's all I'm saying. Could they have done a better job, especially in pass blocking at the end of the year? Yeah, especially. But I still think that this offensive line has a lot of meat on the bone. And RDCB, get it ready. I am the biggest cheerleader for this offensive line this year. I really think that they are going to perform exceptionally well in 2026, number 1. And number 2, I'm not alone in that thought, because you all voted them as what? The 3rd highest position group? Remember when we did the position group rankings? You all voted him the third highest after what? Wide receiver and quarterback.
I don't know, but I do know this. I see RDCB's next screen name as Eric Boggs, championship cheerleader.
He already has that.
He already has it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I was just disappointed because I thought coming into this year, with the way we ended the national championship run and the way they inserted some of those guys and the way that our offensive line played, I thought that would be one of the strengths of the team. I thought that was really going to carry us early, and we were going to be a great running team, and it was going to take Sane some, a little bit of time to get acclimated and catch up to the college game. But man, we just did not run the ball well. And I get some of it was because of the running backs, because Boom Herron even said the same thing when we had him on. It seems like when we went on that run, they took out a bunch of run plays that didn't work, and they adjusted. There was no adjustments on that line during the year. I mean, I know we ran the ball better as the year went on, but we were playing a lot weaker competition. I mean, besides Michigan down the line, we didn't run the ball on anybody really that well. That was a good team. I mean, everybody else was, Rutgers, UCLA, that we had, high running on. When it come to, playing the big dogs, we didn't perform very well.
I think we have Vader back.
Were we Vaderless? Is that why we didn't have a comment from him?
Yeah, we had lost Vader, so I think he's back now. So we'll give we'll give him the opportunity here to speak. So whenever you're ready, Vader, go for it, buddy. You just hop in. You just yell at us when you're ready to talk. You bring up a very good point. I'm going to put in a poll question here, guys, real fast. Who was to blame more last year for our poor running game? The O-line or the running back room?
And Sean, you can't pick Brian Hartline because he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the chat, but I'll give you guys an opportunity to answer. We'll start with you, Chris.
I think there's plenty of blame to be had on both sides. I don't know that I'm willing to assign one more blame than the other. I think it was a continuity issue. I think, especially when you have young running backs, they tend to not see the field as well. They tend to not see the holes as well. They tend to want to dance around. They don't want to hit the hole hard and just go. They're looking to do something spectacular. I think that was one of James Peoples' biggest problems, is he was always looking to do something spectacular, and instead of just hitting the hole hard and taking what the defense gave him. But at the same time, I think that the O-line could have done a better job of opening holes up. However, we saw what nearly this same offensive line did, as Sean mentioned, the previous year in the playoffs. Now, granted, it wasn't 100% the same, but it was very, very close. That being said, I'm gonna put this a little bit more on the running back room, I think, than I'm going to the offensive line right now, because I just don't think that. I don't think the running backs were 100% ready. When you talk about the two young guys that spent most of the season in those two top roles, I don't think they were 100% ready to go at this level. And sadly, I don't think that Peoples had the right mindset to go at this level. I think C.J. Donaldson did an okay job, but the other three guys in the room were either too inexperienced or just, I don't know what was the problem with Peoples, because all the talent in the world in those guys, and I look for him to take a big step forward this year, but I'm going to go running back room.
Sean?
You guys do bring up a great point, and
Sorry guys, it froze on me.
That's all right, Vader.
Go, brother.
You get to speak whenever you want, so you just if you've got something ready, you just hit play, buddy. We'll shut up and listen. Until then, Sean, go ahead.
I agree with David Pollock completely. Offensive line play has taken a huge hit across college. I believe for a couple reasons. First, I believe the South isn't training the position the right way. O-line is the last true power position they should be wrestling in the off-season. Many in the South are joining the track team. I actually had a recruit tell me he was working on jumping higher. I said, kid, why would I want you to leave the ground? You won't have any leverage. This is why I love Ohio State has decided to focus more on Ohio and Midwest guys who still wrestle. All you people who were disappointed with missing out on Seton. What if I told you Tigra had a better run blocking grade and Seavelt gave up fewer pressures and sacks? Do you still think Seton is worth $4 million? Second, the transfer portal has hit line play more than any other position because great lines develop together over time and then develop a chemistry together. My solution is, instead of targeting an expensive outstate 5-star, target half dozen very good players from Ohio and the region who are more apt to stay and develop that very important chemistry.
Well said. Yeah. That was awesome, Vader. Thank you. Yes, Sean, go.
You know, like I just want to jump on what Vader says. You know what? I don't mind if they go out and try to get a couple of these 5-star kids, but make sure that you concentrate on getting these Ohio kids first, lock them down, then take a couple of shots at a 5-star from Texas or here and there. I mean, that you think is worth it. But I mean, Vader, I mean, that's why he's a great one, guys. I mean,
But don't you ever lose a 5-star from Ohio. That's all I'm gonna say.
exactly. I
Well,
mean,
we
the
got-
Ohio kids should have first priority, man, in all positions. I mean, honestly, you lock up your best players from Ohio first, then you start taking swings at the, unless there's a Jeremiah Smith out there. But
And that's probably the biggest knock that I have ever had on Ryan Day is the fact that, and even somewhat on Urban, is when Urban's philosophy of taking that recruiting and going national with it. And I know Coop did that somewhat, but Tress brought it back more to the Ohio first mentality. But when Urban took it back national again, and it's great, we're getting all these track stars, these guys to compete with the SEC. Eric, your famous line, we're not built to beat Michigan, we're built to win national titles, came from that philosophy. But, my biggest knock on Ryan Day is that I really feel like our roster should be close to 40 to 50% Ohio kids at all times.
I would agree with that, but sometimes the talent just, if the talent isn't there, then,
And agreed, you're going to have years where the talent's down. But as a general rule.
Sure.
Yeah, I think especially on the offensive line.
Yes.
Because that is the bread and butter of the state. And like, I know high schools are passing the football more, but you go and you watch film, and Chris and I watch a lot of film. The Ohio kids on the offensive line are they're meaner. They're more aggressive. And that's one of the things that Pollock was saying. They've lost their aggression. By the way, this is a great time to point out, we got 2 5-star offensive linemen in the 2026 class. Mm-hmm. You should get yourself this magazine. This is our 2025 season review magazine, and we have in there everything you possibly could want to know about the recruits from the 2026 class, including Maxwell Riley and Sam Greer, who are 2 of the guys who we're talking about. You cannot miss out on those guys. No. Thankfully, we were able to get Sam Greer away from Clemson. Clemson was really hot and heavy on him. And Riley was always going to be a Buckeye. That one seemed to be legit. But
it was sad because we had 4 kids in the state of Ohio that were really, high star kids on the offensive line, and we only got 2 of them.
Yep.
And they kind of fumbled on Will Conroy.
They recovered really well in that class.
Yeah, they did recover. But I still wish they would have got all the. I thought those kids should have been locked into the class before they actually committed, because they should have been on those kids earlier, and they just weren't.
There you go. Jason said, I just got mine today and I love it, talking about the magazine. It only costs $30. It is a keepsake. It's something that you're going to want to have for the rest of your life. It'll be like one of those things you pass down to your kids one day, your grandkids, and if they're Buckeye fans, they're going to look through this magazine. They're going to be able to see every single game that year, what happened, what the statistics were. It is a great keepsake, something we're doing. If you would like to order yours, email us at theohiopodcast@gmail.com. I run the email. Name's Eric. I'll be happy to explain how you can Venmo us. You can actually mail me the money, and I'll mail you the magazine. We'll get it into your hands. It is fantastic. Thank you, Jason, for your order. There is a limited number, ladies and gentlemen. We only ordered so many. Once they're gone, they are gone. And we went to the post office yesterday with a bunch of them. So if you want yours, don't wait. Email me, theohiopodcast@gmail.com. Say, Boggs, I don't have the $30 until my next check. That's okay. Let me know you want one, and that way I can set it off to the side for you. And then hopefully you'll be able to get us your money. We'll be able to get you the magazine ASAP, okay? It's awesome. Really, really happy with how it turned out. Great conversation. We'll go around for final thoughts, and then we're going to head on over to Patreon for the Super Secret Show. Chris, your final thoughts on David Pollock and the offensive line?
Pollock's 100% right. We talked about it. We've beaten it to death. I think at this point, the only thing we can say is, Ryan Day, heed our words. Keep bringing in those nasty Ohio State or those Ohio kids. Keep bringing those kids in here because they are what's going to win you another national title. As great as the finesse guys are, as great as the skill position guys are, in the end, it's those big nasty guys up along that front that's going to win you that next title.
Sean.
I didn't get the answer. I went off the track for a second, but I think it was 60-40. I'll go 60-40 that it was line and back's fault on that last year's problem with the running game. But hey, I agree with you guys and David Pollock. I mean, it's more of a finesse game because of the way the offense has gone. But up here in Ohio, in the Midwest, we don't play wussy ball. These kids are a different animal, and Ohio State needs that. I mean, not only is the offensive line, but the defensive line is too. So we need to get more guys in the trenches on both sides of the ball from Ohio.
Vader, get your final comment ready here, buddy. I'll give mine first. This is what I am so glad someone of national prominence finally said what Chris and I have been saying for years. He just brought it from a Southern perspective where he's upset, and rightfully so. But we've been preaching this thing for a long time based off of what our eyeballs tell us when we watch film. And I, for one, am excited to see how this affects Ohio State moving forward. We're going to close out the poll question here real fast. And it looks like 79% of you to 21% of you said O-line was actually to blame more for our poor running game last season. So basically 8 out of 10 of you basically said it was O-line. Interesting. All right, Vader, what you got, buddy? Your final comment, my man.
I think Pollock is right. Give me Ohio guys. Look at 2014.
That's right. 2014, baby. National championship. Basically all Ohio kids on that offensive line, they were nasty. They called themselves the not the Hog Mollies, the Slobs. They called them, remember that? They gave themselves the nickname the Slobs. Great offensive line nickname. Hit that thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already, everybody. We appreciate you coming in. I'm working on a special guest for next week. He said he'll either be with us Monday or Tuesday. One of my very good friends in this space. No, it's not John Kennedy, but he's maybe slightly more pleasant and much more Southern. That's my hint. It's going to be a great show, so make sure you're locked in every Sunday through Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern. And then We're also going to start to focus a little bit more on a couple things. Number one, the NFL draft is coming up. And our huge NFL draft game, which Chris will take place with our Patreon members for the first time. We're not opening it up to everybody. It'll be just for our Patreon members where you can win some sweet prizes. And it makes watching the NFL draft so much better. So that'll be happening. We're going to watch the NFL draft together on Patreon this year. That's going to be a lot of fun. So that's something to look forward to as well. And then the other thing is we're actually going to start to focus a little bit more, not necessarily on this show. We will mention it every now and then, is the Columbus Aviators. I've been in touch with the head of information from the UFL, and he's supposed to get back with us next week. They open up camp in Columbus next week for the Aviators for their season, and we have an Aviators channel now with the OHIO podcast, and we've been doing some some things over there with some short videos and things. That's about to really pick up. Dylan Kuhn, y'all know DK from the Purdue guy. He's going to be our co-host over there.
Nice.
So he's going to be excited to get to work with the OHIO podcast. Even though he's a Purdue fan, he's also a Aviators fan. Yes,
He's
Chris.
probably excited to actually discuss winning football for a change.
Yeah, exactly. That's the it's a joke we will throw at him, no doubt. We'll see you all over on Patreon, everybody. Have a good night. We'll be back here live Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on YouTube. Go catch us on Patreon. We're gonna have a good time over there.